Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a concept that is actively, literally rewriting the rules of technology and business. We're talking about the DevSecOps blueprint. It's a completely fascinating dynamic because it deals directly with that classic, age-old friction between moving fast and staying safe. Historically, development teams pushing for rapid innovation and security teams hitting the brakes to check for vulnerabilities, well, they've been totally at odds. It's like a constant tug of war. But today, we're going to break down exactly how the best in the business are dissolving that friction and completely rethinking modern software architecture. So how do we secure software at speed? It's not just a technical hurdle anymore. It is the ultimate modern business dilemma. Consumers today absolutely demand instant updates, shiny new features, and flawless access. But consider this. The average cost of a single data breach today hovers around $4.5 million. No joke. If you move incredibly fast but ignore security, you are just inviting financial and reputational disaster. Yet on the flip side, if you prioritize security using those outdated manual checkpoints and you move too slow, you get entirely left behind by the competition. Finding that perfect balance between deployment velocity and ironclad security, that's exactly what we are solving today. Okay, let's dive into this and establish a baseline. Section 1. What is DevSecOps? At its absolute core, DevSecOps means building security into every single step of software development. It's a total shift in philosophy. We're moving away from these isolated bottleneck checkpoints and turning security into a continuous thread. In the industry, we actually call this shifting left, literally moving your security considerations as early in the development lifecycle as humanly possible. From the very first commit a developer makes in the code repository, all the way to the final deployment in the cloud, security protocols and automated testing are running parallel. They're baked directly into the build pipeline. Think about the old way versus the new way. In the past, security was basically bolted on at the very end of the line. It's like building an entire house, painting the walls, moving all your furniture in, and then realizing you need to install locks in a security system. If you find a critical structural vulnerability just days before a major launch, you literally have to tear those metaphorical walls down to fix it. It creates massive friction, huge deployment delays, and engineering costs just skyrocket. But the new way? It integrates security into every step. By addressing vulnerabilities continuously as the software is actually being built, you completely eliminate that massive end-of-the-line bottleneck. Because ultimately, the market today it demands fast, reliable, and secure apps, period. You simply cannot compromise on any of these three pillars. Think about it. If an application is lightning fast and perfectly reliable, but it has a massive exploitable flaw, that is a total enterprise liability. Conversely, if it's perfectly secure, like a fortress, but it's super slow to update and completely unreliable, your users will abandon it for a competitor in a heartbeat. DevSecOps is the blueprint that allows engineering teams to finally hit all three of these targets at the exact same time. Let's shift gears to the present. Section 2. Why it matters today. Consider the sheer velocity of our modern economy. It's being driven by these massive, rapidly growing tech trends, things like cloud computing, AI, and hyper-interconnected online services. And look, these aren't just industry buzzwords. They are radically altering the entire threat landscape. Cloud infrastructure introduces massive complexity and the very real, constant risk of misconfiguration. And AI? Yes, it's absolutely accelerating development, which is great. But it's also accelerating automated, highly sophisticated cyber attacks. Add in the explosion of microservices, and suddenly you have way more potential entry points for hackers than ever before. So the crucial point is, with cloud computing, AI, and online services growing so rapidly, cyber attacks are increasing too. It's the dark side of all this exponential tech growth. As our digital footprints expand into these massive multi-cloud environments, and as we rely more and more on complex algorithms to hold our most critical data, the attack surface for bad actors expands right alongside it. The rapid innovation that drives business value is, ironically, the exact same force driving the rise in attacks. We are essentially building bigger, faster, and much more lucrative targets. Let's move to and see how this builds into a real solution. How does DevSecOps actually counteract this rising tide without slowing us down? Well, it comes down to a highly structured, logical flow. First, teams detect vulnerabilities early. By integrating automated testing right at the code commit stage, flaws are caught when they are cheapest and easiest to fix. Second, they automate these security checks. This takes the slow, manual human element entirely out of the equation. You just have automated guardrails constantly scanning in the background. And that leads directly to step 3, releasing safer software faster. By catching bugs early and automating the busy work, that whole speed versus security dilemma is fundamentally solved. Let's break down how to actually pull this off. Section 3, Key Factors for Success. Achieving this new standard requires 4 fundamental operational pillars. First up, automation. As we just touched on, automating your vulnerability scanning is what allows your development velocity to stay incredibly high. Second, continuous monitoring. The system can never truly sleep. It has to constantly watch the live environment for new anomalies or zero-day threats. Third, collaboration between teams. Now, this is a massive cultural shift. Developers, security folks, and operations staff can no longer work in isolated silos, just throwing code over the wall to each other. They have to operate as a single, unified team with shared responsibility. And finally, compliance. For heavily regulated industries, DevSecOps enables what we call compliance as code, ensuring all those tedious regulatory requirements are automatically documented and met during the build process. The ultimate goal of integrating all these pillars, the automation, the early detection, that big cultural collaboration we talked about, is to protect customer data and fundamentally reduce your risks. I mean, we live in an environment where data breaches are front-page news every single day, right? Brand reputations can literally be destroyed overnight. Leveraging the DevSecOps blueprint is what allows businesses to confidently keep their operations running at top speed while keeping their users completely safe. It's all about maintaining trust in a highly volatile, hyper-connected world. Which leaves us with one really vital question to reflect on. Given the massive rise of AI, the huge expansion of cloud architecture, and just the sheer staggering volume of modern cyber threats, is your business actually ready to protect customer data in today's connected world without sacrificing your speed? It's a lot to think about. Keep questioning your systems and keep learning.